Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast.
Today we're talking about something powerful, improving your life.
Yeah, because many people feel stuck.
Or tired.
Or unmotivated.
But the truth is, change is possible.
Absolutely. And sometimes the change starts with very small things.
Like waking up earlier.
Or going to the gym.
Or changing the food you eat.
Exactly. Your habits shape your life.
But many people think improvement is too difficult.
Or that it takes too much time.
But that's not always true.
No, sometimes just one good habit can change everything.
Like exercising 3 times a week.
Or reading 10 minutes a day.
Or learning something new every day.
The important thing is progress.
Not perfection.
Yes, progress.
And today we want to talk about how normal people can improve their lives.
Body.
Mind.
And mentality.
Because when you change your mentality,
your life begins to change too.
So let's talk about that.
Let's begin. Sometimes people think their life will always stay the same. They wake up tired, go to work without motivation, eat whatever is fast, and repeat the same routine every day. After months or years, they begin to believe that improvement is impossible. But the truth is that change usually starts with something very small. One new decision, one better habit, or one moment where you decide you want something better for your future.
I agree. Most people are waiting for a big opportunity, a big moment that will change everything. But improvement rarely arrives like that. Real transformation usually begins quietly. Maybe you decide to wake up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe you start walking every morning. Maybe you stop eating food that makes you feel tired. These small actions seem simple, but when repeated every day, they slowly change your energy and your mindset. Another important thing is responsibility. Many people blame their job, their family, the government, or their past. Sometimes those things are difficult, that's true. But if we only blame outside situations, we give away our power. The moment you take responsibility for your life, something changes inside you. You begin to realize that even small improvements are in your hands.
And responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means understanding that you have the ability to move forward. Maybe slowly, maybe step by step, but forward. For example, improving your health can begin with something simple, like drinking more water, sleeping better, or walking 20 minutes a day. These are not dramatic changes, but over time they create a completely different life. Let's talk about the body first. Our physical health affects almost everything in our lives. When your body feels heavy and tired, your mind also feels slow and unmotivated. But when you begin exercising regularly, even lightly, something incredible happens. Your energy increases, your confidence grows. You start feeling proud of yourself for doing something positive. Food also plays a huge role in how we feel every day. Many people eat food that gives quick pleasure, but leaves them exhausted later. Too much sugar, too many processed foods, and very little nutrition. When people begin choosing healthier meals, they often notice something surprising. Their mood improves, their concentration becomes stronger, and they feel more stable emotionally.
That's very true. And the interesting thing is that improving your body often helps improve your discipline in other areas of life. When someone commits to going to the gym 3 times a week, they begin developing consistency. That same discipline can help them wake up earlier, work harder, and pursue bigger goals. Physical discipline often becomes mental discipline.
Exactly. And once the body starts improving, the next important area is the mind. Many people forget that the mind also needs training. Just like muscles grow through exercise, the mind grows through learning. Reading books, listening to educational podcasts, studying new skills, or learning a new language can completely expand the way a person sees the world. When people stop learning, they often feel stuck. Life becomes repetitive and predictable. But when someone begins learning new ideas, new knowledge, and new perspectives, the brain becomes more active and curious. Suddenly, the world feels bigger. Opportunities appear where before there was only routine.
And curiosity is powerful. Curious people ask questions. They try new things. They explore different possibilities. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," they ask, "How could this work?" That small difference in thinking can completely transform the direction of a person's life. Curiosity opens doors that fear usually keeps closed.
Another key element of improving your life is the environment around you. The people you spend time with influence your mentality more than you realize. If you are surrounded by people who complain all the time, who never try to grow, it becomes easy to fall into the same mentality. But when you spend time with people who want to improve, their energy can inspire you to move forward. This doesn't mean you must abandon people you care about, but it means being conscious about the conversations you allow into your life. Try to surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, goals, learning, and improvement. Conversations shape the way we think, and the way we think shapes the direction of our lives.
Another thing people underestimate is the power of daily routines. Many successful people don't rely only on motivation. Instead, they build routines that help them stay consistent. A simple morning routine, for example, can completely change your day. Waking up calmly, stretching, reading something positive, or planning your tasks can create a strong mental foundation.
Yes, and routines remove the pressure of making decisions all the time. When healthy habits become part of your daily routine, you don't need to fight with your mind every day. Going to the gym, eating better, or studying becomes normal. And when something becomes normal, it becomes easier to maintain for years. Many people also struggle because they compare themselves constantly to others. Social media especially creates this illusion that everyone else is living a perfect life, but comparison often destroys motivation. Instead of comparing your life with others, it's much healthier to compare your current self with the person you were last year. If you are a little healthier, a little wiser, and a little stronger than you were before, that is real progress. Growth does not need to be dramatic. Small improvements accumulate quietly, and after months or years, those small improvements become a completely different life.
Another powerful idea is learning to accept discomfort. Many people avoid anything that feels difficult, but growth usually lives on the other side of discomfort. Exercising is uncomfortable at first. Learning new skills can feel frustrating. Changing habits requires effort, but every time you move through that discomfort, you become mentally stronger.
Exactly. Discomfort is often a sign that something meaningful is happening. When you challenge your limits, you expand them. Over time, things that once seemed impossible start feeling normal. That's how people grow. Not by staying comfortable, but by slowly increasing their capacity to handle challenges.
Another important aspect is vision. Without a vision for the future, people easily drift through life. A vision doesn't need to be perfect or extremely detailed. It can simply be an idea of the kind of person you want to become. Maybe you want to be healthier, more disciplined, more educated, or more financially stable.
When you have that vision in your mind, your daily decisions begin aligning with it. Suddenly, the gym is not just exercise, it is part of becoming the person you want to be. Reading is not just information, it becomes personal growth. Every action starts connecting with a bigger purpose.
Something that changed my life was understanding the power of discipline. Motivation is great, but motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel excited, but other days you feel tired and lazy. Discipline is different. Discipline means doing the right thing even when you don't feel like doing it. And the more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to stay consistent.
That's very true. Discipline builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your mind begins trusting you more. If you say you will wake up early and you actually do it, your brain starts believing that you are a person who follows through. That small internal trust is incredibly powerful because it affects every other area of your life.
Another important thing is patience. Many people start improving their lives, but they expect results immediately. They go to the gym for 2 weeks and expect a completely different body. They read for a few days and expect their mindset to transform instantly. Real change usually takes time. But if you stay consistent for months or years, the results become undeniable. Yes, patience protects you from giving up too early. Life improvement is more like planting a tree than pressing a button. When you plant a tree, you don't see the full result the next day. You water it, you take care of it, and slowly it grows. Personal development works in a similar way. Small efforts today become big results later. Another mistake many people make is believing they need perfect conditions to start. They think they need more time, more money, better equipment, or more knowledge before they begin. But waiting for perfect conditions often becomes an excuse for not starting. Most successful people began with very limited resources and improved gradually.
Starting imperfectly is much better than waiting forever. Your first attempt might be messy, slow, or uncomfortable, but every attempt teaches you something valuable. The important thing is movement. When you move forward, even slowly, you create momentum. And momentum often becomes the force that carries you through difficult moments.
Momentum is powerful. When you complete one positive action, it becomes easier to complete the next one. For example, if you wake up early and go for a short run, you already feel productive. That feeling often motivates you to eat better, work with more focus, or study something useful. One good decision can trigger many others.
That's why morning habits are so important. The first actions of the day often influence the rest of the day. If the morning begins with stress, rushing, and unhealthy choices, the rest of the day may follow that pattern. But if the morning begins with calm, movement, and clarity, the entire day tends to feel more controlled and intentional.
Another important area of growth is mental resilience. Life will always bring challenges. Problems, disappointments, and unexpected situations happen to everyone. The difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck is often their response to those challenges. Resilient people see difficulties as lessons rather than permanent failures.
Exactly. Failure is not the opposite of success. In many cases, failure is part of the path to success. Every mistake contains information. Every challenge reveals weaknesses that can be improved. When people stop fearing failure, they become more willing to try new things. And trying new things is often where real growth begins.
There is also something very important that people often ignore: the way we talk to ourselves. Many people have a negative voice inside their mind all the time. They say things like, "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "This is too hard for me." When someone repeats these thoughts every day, the mind slowly begins to believe them as truth. But the interesting thing is that our internal dialogue can also become a powerful tool for growth. When people begin changing the way they speak to themselves, their mentality slowly transforms. Instead of saying, "I can't," they begin asking, "How can I?" Instead of saying, "This is impossible," they start thinking, "Maybe there is a way." This small change in language can create a big psychological shift. Your brain starts searching for solutions instead of excuses. It becomes more creative, more curious, and more open to opportunities. Over time, this positive internal conversation builds confidence because you start seeing yourself as someone capable of learning and adapting. And confidence is not something magical that some people are born with. Confidence is built through action. Every time you try something difficult and survive the experience, your mind learns that you are stronger than you thought. Confidence grows when you repeatedly prove to yourself that you can handle challenges.
I love that idea because many people believe confidence must exist before they start something new. But in reality, confidence usually comes after action, not before. When someone begins exercising, learning a skill, or speaking a new language, they might feel uncomfortable at first. But every small improvement builds belief, and belief changes behavior. When you believe you are capable of improving, you start taking more opportunities. You speak up more. You try new activities. You allow yourself to grow. Over time, that belief becomes part of your identity, and you begin seeing yourself as a person who constantly evolves. Another powerful thing is understanding that life is long enough for transformation. Many people feel like it's too late to change, but people reinvent themselves at many stages of life. Someone can start exercising at 40, learn a new language at 30, or begin a completely new career later in life.
That's very true. Human potential is much larger than most people imagine. Our brains remain capable of learning throughout our lives. The problem is not usually age or ability. The problem is often fear. Fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, or fear of stepping outside the comfort zone. But when people understand that everyone starts as a beginner, that fear becomes smaller. Every expert you admire today was once inexperienced. Every strong athlete was once weak. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Growth is simply the result of many small attempts repeated over time. And that brings us back to one simple but powerful idea. Improvement is a journey, not a single moment. The goal is not to become perfect overnight. The goal is to become slightly better day after day. When someone commits to that mindset, life begins to feel less overwhelming and more exciting.
Something else that can change a person's life is having a sense of purpose. Purpose doesn't have to be something enormous or world-changing. Sometimes purpose simply means knowing why you want to improve. Maybe you want to feel healthier for your family. Maybe you want more freedom in the future. When people have a reason, discipline becomes much easier. Without a purpose, life can feel repetitive and empty. People wake up, work, come home, and repeat the same routine without direction. But when someone connects their daily actions to a deeper reason, those actions suddenly feel meaningful. The gym becomes more than exercise. Studying becomes more than information. It becomes part of building a better life.
Purpose also helps during difficult moments. Everyone experiences days when motivation disappears. Maybe you feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. When that happens, purpose acts like an anchor. It reminds you why you started in the first place. That reminder can give you the strength to continue even when progress feels slow. Another important element is learning how to manage your time. Many people say they don't have time to improve their lives, but often the problem is not time itself. The problem is how time is used. Hours disappear through distractions like endless scrolling on phones, television, or activities that don't truly add value. When people begin observing how they spend their time, they often discover many small opportunities for growth. 10 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of exercise, or 30 minutes of learning a new skill can slowly transform a person's abilities. These small investments of time accumulate in powerful ways.
Yes, and those small investments can create incredible momentum over the years. Imagine reading just 10 pages of a book every day. In 1 year, that could be dozens of books filled with knowledge and new ideas. Learning slowly but consistently is one of the most underrated strategies for personal growth. Another powerful idea is learning to protect your focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, social media, news, and constant entertainment compete for our attention. But focus is one of the most valuable mental resources we have. When someone learns to concentrate deeply on meaningful tasks, their productivity increases dramatically. Focus also creates a sense of satisfaction. When you dedicate your attention fully to something important, you begin seeing real progress. That progress builds confidence and motivation. Instead of feeling scattered and overwhelmed, your mind feels organized and purposeful.
And when focus, discipline, and purpose start working together, something powerful happens. Life begins to feel more intentional. Instead of reacting to everything around you, you start directing your own path. You make decisions that align with your long-term vision rather than temporary emotions. That's when personal growth becomes a lifestyle instead of a temporary project. Improving your body, your mind, and your habits becomes part of who you are. And once that mindset is established, the journey of self-improvement continues naturally for the rest of your life. One of the biggest obstacles people face is fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of trying something new. These fears can quietly control a person's decisions for years. Someone may want to start exercising, learning a new skill, or changing careers, but fear whispers that it's safer to stay where they are. The strange thing about fear is that it often becomes smaller the moment we confront it. The first step is usually the hardest. Walking into a gym for the first time, speaking in a new language, or starting a personal project can feel intimidating. But once you take that first step, the situation often becomes much less frightening. Over time, facing small fears builds courage. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite feeling uncomfortable. Each time someone proves to themselves that they can face fear and survive the experience, their confidence grows stronger.
That idea is very important because fear can create invisible limits in our lives. Many people never discover their potential because they avoid situations that challenge them. But growth requires stepping into the unknown sometimes. It requires curiosity and the willingness to learn from experiences. And often the things we fear the most are the things that help us grow the most. Public speaking, learning new languages, meeting new people, or starting new projects can feel uncomfortable at first. But these experiences expand our abilities and help us discover strengths we didn't know we had. Another important factor is persistence. Many people start strong when they begin improving their lives, but they stop when things become difficult. Persistence means continuing even when progress feels slow. It means understanding that meaningful change takes time and patience.
Persistence creates resilience. When you continue moving forward despite obstacles, your mind learns that challenges are temporary. Instead of quitting at the first difficulty, you begin searching for solutions. This mentality transforms problems into learning opportunities. Successful people are not necessarily the most talented people. Often they are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They tried again after mistakes, adjusted their strategy, and kept moving forward. Over time, that persistence creates remarkable results. And when persistence combines with discipline and purpose, a powerful mindset appears. This mindset focuses less on instant results and more on long-term progress. People who think this way understand that today's effort becomes tomorrow's opportunity.
Exactly. When someone adopts that long-term perspective, life begins to feel more hopeful. Every healthy meal, every workout, every hour of learning becomes an investment in the future. These small actions may seem simple today, but they slowly create the life a person dreams about.
Sometimes people believe that improving their life requires a dramatic transformation overnight. But real change rarely works like that. Life improves through small daily decisions. Choosing healthier food, moving your body, learning something new, and protecting your time may look simple, but these habits slowly shape your future. And when those small decisions repeat day after day, they begin forming a completely new identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only dreams about improvement. You begin seeing yourself as a person who takes action. That identity shift is powerful, because once you believe you are capable of growth, your behavior follows that belief.
I also think it's important to remember that everyone moves at their own pace. Some people change quickly, while others progress more slowly. But speed is not the most important factor. Consistency matters much more. Even slow progress becomes powerful when it continues for months and years. Life is not a competition with other people. It is a personal journey of becoming a better version of yourself. When people stop comparing their progress to others, they often feel less pressure and more motivation. They begin focusing on their own growth and their own path.
And that path doesn't need to be perfect. There will always be difficult days, moments of doubt, and occasional mistakes. That's part of the process. What matters is the ability to continue after those moments. Resilience means standing up again and continuing forward. Every challenge teaches something valuable. Every mistake reveals a lesson. When someone begins seeing life this way, setbacks stop feeling like failures. Instead, they become information that helps guide the next step forward.
And over time, those lessons accumulate. A person becomes wiser, stronger, and more confident. They begin understanding themselves better. They learn what habits help them grow and what habits hold them back. That awareness is one of the most valuable forms of personal development. Eventually, improvement becomes part of daily life. Exercising, learning, reflecting, and setting goals become normal behaviors. At that point, growth no longer feels like something forced. It becomes a natural direction for your life.
So if someone listening today feels stuck, the message is simple. Start small. Choose one habit that moves you forward. Protect your time. Be patient with yourself. And remember that the person you become tomorrow is shaped by the decisions you make today.
Exactly. Improvement doesn't require perfection, only commitment. If you keep learning, keep moving, and keep believing that change is possible, your life will slowly transform. And one day you'll look back and realize that those small steps created the future you once imagined.